Hey
Hello.
y'all.
Hey, y'all. I am the light of the Leo. Today we have a special edition of Decompress Monday. I have purposely waited a whole week. Was it a week?
hmm
It's been a whole week.
It felt a little bit longer than that, but we waited to talk about it, and we're doing it now. Were you able to see it, my brother?
Absolutely, yes. Our father and I, we went out there. I didn't know he wanted to watch it myself, but he very much enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it as well. So yes, we did see it. The movie
Oh,
started at
good.
12:45 this evening. I had me a small popcorn, a medium Mountain Dew. Now I know just to get a small Mountain Dew next time because I ain't gonna drink all that medium drink. So yeah. But it
Thank
was
you.
it was good.
Thank you for the in-depth update.
Of
Uh,
course. I was about to get me some troll gummy sour worms, but I was like, no, I can just get them from Walmart for the real price. Get a big bag for $5, okay? And I just paid
okay.
$5 for a little old
Little half a thing.
little something something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. That's wonderful. Today, being that we're talking about the movie, I wanted to make sure to include my husband Tyrone, for he is a movie man, a movie watching man. So, and
Movie
he like to do.
guru.
Okay, he like doing the films and stuff. Can you come over here just a little bit, sir? I think you can afford to do it. Just come on now. All right, he took advantage of that moment.
Well, I mean, it
Give me,
wasn't much space between y'all to begin with.
Well, I mean, okay, all right.
give me some room.
Thank you.
Right. Hold your space, Tyrone. Okay.
Anywho, hi
Hey,
Dustin.
Justin.
Thank you for making it on in here. Um, Bianca, hello. She says happy Monday to the family and welcome to the light of the Leo, you guys. You just go ahead and hit the thumbs up, please. Go ahead and like and share and subscribe to this channel. And we're gonna relax and have a good time today, as per usual. Bianca says happy Monday to Dustin. And Dustin said to Bianca, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better too, Bianca.
Absolutely.
Mm. Uh, Lady Virgo, hello. Thank you for coming on up in here. We're gonna have us a good conversation. Lady Virgo says hello to Bianca and Dustin. And Miss Kim, hello, Miss Kim. God bless you.
Greetings and
Welcome on
salutations,
in
Miss
here.
Kim, my
Okay.
queen.
Miss Kim says, hey y'all, just peeking in to say, hey, I'm not joining tonight. I'm going to see Sinners on Thursday.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. Do your thing, Miss Kim.
Thank
Avoid these spoilers.
Thank you for reading, knowing that we're going to tell the whole story so you can watch it later. So good.
Yeah.
We'll see you later. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Lady Virgo says hello to the light of the Leo. Jojo speaks and TD McCullum. Good evening to you all. Good evening
Good
unto
evening, Lady
Good evening.
Virgo.
you. All right. Okay. So I'm really, my plan was really just to talk to you about the movie the way that we talk about movies when we watch them. And through your questions, we always tend to decode stuff. So, well, first of all, so Daddy said he liked it.
Yes. His first comment to me during the movie was that he really enjoyed the screenplay, the dialogue. And I
Mm-hmm.
have to admit that I enjoyed as well. It was clearly written by someone of African American descent, honey. Okay, clearly one of us. I don't know how they talked in like 19 in the 1930s. So
In
because
Mississippi.
it did sound very current to me. So that did take me out of it just slightly.
Mhm.
But I still thought the dialogue was excellent. I enjoyed it.
I believe maybe they, you know, 1932 in Mississippi. You know, to be honest, I've seen some TikTok videos where some people are like, "Yeah, I wasn't catching on to some of the things that they were saying." I think it's because we're used to hearing people from the South speak.
Yeah, yeah.
We understand the dialect. And if there was any updates to the dialect or anything, I'm pretty sure it's just so we can simply understand what's going on and things of that nature. Tyrone, what did you think of the movie? Like, thoughts?
I enjoyed every bit of it. I specifically enjoyed the fact that we got a chance to see it in IMAX, to see Ryan Coogler's true vision and
Wow.
why he
Okay.
had to capture it in that way.
Oh, and it wasn't for choosing to see it in IMAX. It just was the moment. We got to the movies a little bit later than we thought we were going to get there, and it's like I'm not going to miss none of this. I don't want to miss any of it. Damn it, Jonathan. Woo!
Sorry, it's contagious. Can't help it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Anywho, but
Can't promise you nothing.
okay. So to be honest, I feel like God's been putting us in those positions. This is the second time recently that God has put us in a position that we were supposed to do better. Pay the money to see the best.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's what we saw.
That's what we did.
And it was so worth it seeing it
yeah.
the way that Mr. Kugler shot it and using those special IMAX cameras. It was amazing. So when it first turned on and you saw a man burning up, smoking literally. Did you have any thoughts? Cuz can I tell you what I thought?
What?
I thought that them Indians were lighting him up on fire, but like, how is he not still not on fire? But his skin is like, what is going on? I was, to be honest,
Mhm.
when we got in there, I forgot it was a vampire movie.
Mm. Mhm.
Indeed, indeed. Because of how everything opened,
Hmm.
it draws you in and you start immediately investigating and getting invested in the characters that you are greeted by.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. As soon as we got into the church and realized that the main character was the son of the preacher, and of course realizing that they're sharecroppers, I was like, okay, I see what's going on over there making quotas with cotton.
Mhm.
Okay, I see what's going on. And in the beginning, he couldn't find his guitar. The guitar would have been up under his bed, but that
Right.
wasn't the case. So he went straight to his daddy, the pastor, and he
What you
had it.
did with
So,
mine?
and I was like, I know where this is going. Okay, music is the devil, apparently.
Mhm.
But moving on and moving forward, just realizing from the beginning that this was just going to be a day.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not anticipate it just being one day
One
worth,
day?
but as this movie quickly unfolds throughout the day, oh my gosh, a lot can happen in just one day in a film.
So much. So much. Um, so just moving on, learning about um smoke and stack. What were your thoughts, Jonathan, on the twins?
I thought it was done so seamlessly.
Mhm.
It's almost as if there were two actors who looked just alike standing right next to each other doing their lines. Um, I can't imagine how tenuous that filming session must have been for Michael B. Jordan to have to do everything
Especially
with both characters in the same frame twice. I know that probably took a lot of work, a lot of detail.
you see
Because
when they
when
passed that cigarette?
Right, yeah, yeah. When Daddy first saw them, when Daddy first saw them, he was like, "That looks like the same man." I said, "Yeah, it
Yeah.
is absolutely." I loved the fact that one was wearing a red hat and the other was wearing a blue hat. Um,
Mhm.
I thought that was a lot
So
of
telling.
symbolism.
Yes.
Absolutely, it was very telling, and it kind of gave us a look into their personalities for me.
Mhm.
Um, I can't remember which one was wearing which hat necessarily.
It was
I think
Stack wearing the red hat and
right.
Smoke wearing
Wearing
the
the blue.
blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got them confused a little bit after I didn't see them with the hats anymore. I sort of kind of got them a little bit confused, but um, I was impressed by the way that it was filmed because you wouldn't have known that Michael B. Jordan didn't have a twin if you didn't know who he was before you saw
Right.
the movie. So I thought that was great the way they did that.
I love how you brought up the symbolism and the difference between the twins.
Mhm.
Right.
To me, I saw the Malcolm and Martin reference within those two. How
But on a whole different
Smoke was
level.
all about their business, about their action,
Right.
and Stack was like a little more playful, a little more,
It's a slick mouth.
you know,
Silver
com-
tongued, as some would say.
Oh
a little
yeah.
more communal because Stack he liked to play around with the people where Smoke was like, nah, I'm gonna chill over here. I'm gonna be to myself. I'm in my own world.
And figure out this business.
Y'all go handle that. I'm gonna take care of this.
I loved the journey into getting the musicians for the juke joint that they purchased that day.
Yeah. Same day.
That day. Um, hearing the story of, oh gosh, what is his name? The one that played the harmonica and piano.
I forgot what his name was.
Yeah.
I think it started with an S. I
It
think.
did start with an S. I forgot.
Well, anywho, hearing the story of how now I'm gonna need them to get a newer picture
Slim.
of him. I'm looking at they had the picture of Miles Colton, the main dude in the thing. They have
Who
it
played
from when
Sammy?
played Sammy. They have a picture of him when he was 8.
Old picture of him.
Well, I mean, he's like 21 or 20 years old
Yeah,
now.
he's 20.
Right. Yeah. So he's a young buck. He
And
might not have.
we actually saw. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jonathan.
I was going to say he might not have done too many things between that time and now. So
No, he actually has. He was
Mhm.
singing backup for her.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and also he toured around. We actually saw him in person.
I wouldn't put it past me.
Yeah, that time when we saw Kurt Carr,
Yeah.
he was there with his mother
Yeah.
singing with them,
Wow.
Yeah.
and they actually introduced him and everything, brought him to the
I
forefront
remember that. Yep.
to sing as well. And yeah, the last thing he was doing before doing this, from what I hear, was singing behind her, and I saw the videos of him doing it. But anyway, Delta Slim, hearing his story as they passed by the chain gang, which was all his homies, all the people that were locked up.
Right.
Mhm. Oh my. What a impactful story of how I overcome, and yet I did not forget where I came from.
Right.
Like
Y'all hold y'all heads up. Y'all
as
keep
he
going.
drove past, and when he was thinking about, one of his comrades going to glory in a vicious way, and he started humming, and it just turned to a song, and it's like, that's it.
That you feel the pain.
Hmm.
And for me, I immediately thought back to our ancestors that had to go through that pain, and music was their release from that pain.
Right.
Yes, and believe it or not, that scene, Jonathan, they were actually the first viewing of it, they originally didn't even have that in there. The man that played Delta Slim, his name is Delroy Lindo. He actually talked to Ryan Coogler and told them, hey, I think we need to make sure that scene is in there, and thank God we got it, because that really told so much about, the things that we had to go through and the pain that's within our soul that we sung of.
Hmm.
Um,
And it made Slim so much more relatable.
Right.
he wasn't just a
He
hardened
was,
drunk.
yeah, he was just not that drunk and just the dude that they were just picking up. He fully integrates into the story at that point.
Wow. That was wonderful. So like on the other side of town, you need some allergy medicine? Yeah, your eyes a little itchy, ain't it?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm
You got
positive.
what's in your eye? Anyway, um, So what did you think of Annie? Is that her name? Yep, Annie. On there.
Which
Do you
one
remember?
was which one was Annie?
It was Smoke's woman.
Mm. Um, when she first appeared on the screen, I was saying, please, baby Jesus, please let this not be a love interest. And that's no shade to her whatsoever. That's no shade to her story. It's just that I didn't expect for them to end up doing what they ended up doing. However, I could tell why they were so close together because they had experienced so much together. They probably leaned on one another quite a bit. So I understand why that might have brought them together in that way. And I love the fact that he knew where to go when he needed something done. Um, so I love that aspect of it. I love that she had the scene with the child that was there. I can't remember exactly what she was doing with that child. She was like giving the child something to give to her mother or something of that nature. I can't exactly remember what she was doing.
Oh, at that scene, yeah.
Right, yeah. But I had the feeling that she was about her business. That she did not play no games whatsoever, not with these spirits, not with these vampires, not with nothing that's going to try to come up against me and mine.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that about her. And she got hers too. I mean,
Yeah. Why did you okay. Just I know it's your opinion.
right.
Why didn't you? Because to be honest, I didn't think she was one. I
I
didn't
didn't
know
think
who
so.
she would be
Well,
to her.
I
I was thinking what?
felt I felt it at the beginning of the scene. I really felt
Oh,
it at
okay.
the beginning of the scene. And um I'm just a creature of aesthetics personally.
Mhm.
And she looked, I won't say older, but she looked older to me, like more of I won't say a mother figure, but more of an older friend maybe.
Mhm.
And for me, just personally, me personally, this is just my personal opinion as far as what I like to see
Mhm.
in films and TV shows and things of that nature. I like to see people together who are practically about the same age, and it's just aesthetically it's just not pleasing to my eye, just personally, just not
Mhm.
pleasing to my eye.
And I believe society has built that for you.
Right, absolutely, absolutely, because the thing is, like, if you want to do that in your personal life, so be it, go for it. I know that love can be found in a vast amount of ages with a vast amount of arrangements and whatnot. It's just as far as I'm concerned, like, if it looks like it go together for me, that's when it looks like it go together, and it makes sense for me
So
to
you
to
believe
to see
she's
and believe it.
older than him?
That's just aesthetically for me, that's what it looks like for me. Because it's almost like she was giving him advice. She was telling him what, like, he was going to her for a particular reason for something that
Mhm.
I'm sure he did not have on his own. And so again, that setup for me is just like an older figure. Although she may not have been an
Mhm.
older in age, it's just that what he went there for
Too
just
mature.
expressed to me that mature. Yes, thank you so much for that. She came off as more mature than he was, and for me in my mind, those don't go together. Just
Mhm.
for me in my mind.
Did you see, like, the whole, like, the pouch and
Yes.
everything? Did you understand that
What
part?
I did not understand it necessarily, but I saw that she was feeling for it, and she saw that he still had it on his neck.
Yeah, that was, basically, a pouch for protection,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
and basically, when he gave it to her, she kinda re-blessed it
Gotcha.
to,
Okay.
to further protect him.
Okay.
Let me do some comments. Gosh, we just talking. Dustin says maybe I need to go see the movie in the future. Thanks for the tea. Oh, no problem. And Mamir says good evening, everyone. Hello, Mamir.
Hey, Mamir.
She said, "Phew, what a Monday I had." Ooh, girl, you ain't the only one. Hey, Bianca, can you talk?
I can.
Oh, you sound so much better, boo.
Yay! Mamira says, I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I had a great weekend. Well, that's wonderful. I had
That's
an amazing
awesome.
weekend of doing nothing. Casey is here. Hello, Casey. She says the scene when Sammy sang "Somebody Take Me," child, and everyone was dancing throughout time. I was hit with emotions, couldn't stop myself from crying, tears just flowing. This movie was powerful.
Can I just explain how much Sammy's voice just touched me in such a
Oh yeah.
special way? When he first started singing in the car with one of the brothers, I can't remember
Slim.
which one it was, Slim.
Oh,
Slim, the
the
older
brother
brother.
Stack. I'm sorry.
Stack, yeah,
Oh,
Stack.
yeah,
When he was first in the car singing with the guitar, I was shocked because I did not expect that. I've never heard him sing before.
Mhm.
So I did not expect to hear that come out of his mouth. And all of his singing throughout the entire movie. I think he's saying 2 or 3 songs throughout the entire movie. It was just a pleasure to hear. Music to my ears, honey. Music to my ears. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Stack and old girl at the train station.
Mary.
When she came up.
Can we get to that
Oh
real
my
quick?
God.
Like,
Mhm.
just
We
real
got to
quick.
talk about this.
I loved Mary from the beginning. From the first time I saw her on the screen, I loved me some Mary. Okay. And I can understand why she had the feelings that she had for Stack. I really get it. Like, I get it, girl. I really do. And I've seen that storyline so many times over. And you know what ended up happening to her later on in the movie. Like I didn't expect it to happen later on in the movie when it did. But it didn't surprise me at the same time. But that's something that so many women go through with situationships, because it doesn't seem, I don't know if they were actually in a relationship. It seems like they were official at some point in time.
Yeah.
But you know, it seems like he ended up leaving, and you know, she couldn't handle that, and that's, you know, that's something that a lot of people go through.
What I picked up from the way that she came at him in that scene was she was younger when they hooked up.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
They
She-
all were 7
she-
years younger.
You know, and she was really sprung on him and
Mhm.
couldn't get him out of her system.
Right.
And
But
how many of us out there go through that, get somebody, and we just
But why does she say is that Stack or Smoke? Like that perked my ear up a little bit, because like if that was your man, honey, even if he has a
know.
twin, like you would know the difference between the two. So I don't know if she said that because she really didn't know if that was Stack or Smoke, or if she said that because she was throwing shade at her former man.
That's exactly
she
what I
was throwing
think.
shade.
Calling his bluff.
And
Right.
how much time has passed since he left?
Right.
Because the twins went off to World War One, then spent time in Chicago. So that was the culmination of 7 years of being gone. And you come back home, don't say no hey, hi, cat,
Nothing.
dog to nobody that I'm coming, and you just show up out of nowhere.
He didn't want to speak to her either. Sammy said, "Oh, there's a white woman looking at you from over yonder." You know what I'm saying?
You know why, right?
I guess I don't know. No, why?
So the reason why, well, yes, she was a quarter black,
A quarterback, yeah. Her
but
grandfather was black on her mother's side.
her being white presenting doesn't help anybody. So when
Gotcha.
people see them
This was
without
the South.
context, you know, they will come after him for touching her.
Right.
And
Okay.
if she was
He
in
said,
their
why is
presence,
he there?
and
Right.
it's like either way, there's going to be persecution on both ends. So
They were hanging.
that's why they could hardly even be seen together, talking together, which is why at the beginning they didn't even want her up in the juke joint, because
Right.
they're gonna come get us for having you in the midst of us.
Right.
Either way, we gon' glory. Okay. Anyway, Bianca, what did you really enjoy about this movie?
So you know I had to go watch the movie,
Mm-hmm.
hacks and all.
Hack it.
So I apologize to the people, okay? The one thing that I enjoyed about the movie was how they put it together. And I remember one thing that you were saying, which wasn't a spoiler alert, by the way, But when you were talking about the lady speaking and you still saw everything that was going on, that scene was so, listen, y'all know how I feel about music.
Come on.
Yes.
And that scene
And the juke
captured
joint.
every single genre and the transitions of the music.
Indeed.
What it
It
turned
was
into.
amazing. And then we can even go back to when the vampires first came and they started playing a ukulele and they were singing.
The banjo and stuff.
And then guess what? What happened after they came in, conquered, and got they beat the people, and then it's everybody out there, and they were singing that same song. Did y'all hear how the black people voices amplified that song up even
Yes.
more?
Absolutely.
I don't think people realize
The power.
The power.
Come
This-
on.
If you don't realize the power within the human spirit and having it echo its feelings through music, it will mess you up.
I don't know if that song that those three people were playing at the door was considered a blues song. I don't know if
It was
wasn't
Irish.
blues.
It was
Okay.
Irish song.
But I just said no seasoning whatsoever. This is just, this is, I mean,
But
they have
perfect.
they have perfect harmony. You know what I'm saying? They
You
played
that
real
bluegrass
good.
one, right? The bluegrass
It's
song.
a bluegrass Irish.
I don't know what kind of song it was,
It
but
was bluegrass.
the stark difference between the songs that we sing and the songs that their characters were singing was so obvious and so blatant to me.
But
Go
no,
ahead,
that
Bianca.
same song, because if y'all remember that
Right.
same song they were singing in the beginning, at the end, when they were starting to approach
Mm-hmm.
the I don't want to say
The
cabin,
juke joint.
the building,
Yeah.
the juke joint, everybody started singing it. But it was a difference from when they were singing it
Right.
with their banjo.
Banjo. Yes.
She from Atlanta, y'all.
From Atlanta. With their banjo. And then when they got all the vampires together, because now clearly the vampires are black too, then they put that soul into that same exact song.
And you felt something all of a
That
sudden.
got
Right.
me.
Yeah.
That got me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The other song that got me was Sam's Fling when she was singing in the juke joint.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she started singing
He mean Pearline.
Pearline.
The one I got 8 down, honey.
My favorite name in the entire movie, Pearline. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being named Pearline before. But as soon as I heard her name, I was like, okay.
That's a
okay,
grown
I
woman name
love
right
that
there.
name.
I'm sorry,
Grown
Ramir.
woman.
We're talking about Sinners, the movie Sinners.
Her name is Sam.
But yeah, her name Pearline. And a lot of people were saying in those 3 hot sexual scenes, everybody was calling Ryan Coogler a freaky freak, freaky frog.
I don't know why. I mean, they really didn't.
I was
They
right
really
there.
didn't.
I said, I know me and Jonathan gonna be like,
Hold on.
Okay. Okay. Like, what is this? Like, what is this?
That's
Like,
what made you lean in your seat a little forward, didn't you?
but what that taught me was the difference between filmography of people like Tyler Perry and women and heterosexual men, because sometimes it seems like heterosexual men don't go as far into those types of scenes, whereas you have someone like Tyler Perry or a woman, and that's no shade to Tyler Perry. I'm just saying this is what I experienced while watching this stuff. There's a lot more skin to be seen. There's a lot more put into it. There's no questions to be asked, even though there was no questions to be asked in the three that we saw in Sinners. But I saw the stark difference between the two, because just like Bianca said, like I was like, this girl, I ain't come here for this. Okay.
I was expecting to see it.
But look, hold on now.
Okay, but
Wait,
I
wait,
do appreciate the fact that we did not have to see nudity
Right.
to
To
witness
know what
a
was going
sex
on.
scene. Like
Okay.
It was
we did
done
not
very
have
hastily.
to. It's obviously not necessary. It's just, when some people just want that to be seen in their movies, and
That's
more
what you
power
wanted
to
to
them.
see?
You know it.
Hold on, wait a minute now.
Because I was going to ask you last week, were we going to see Michael B. Jordan's costume? I was going to ask you if we were going to see it, because I'm a black man. I like booties.
And that's okay.
And
You
that's okay.
understand?
That is my truth.
Live your life.
But you know what? I
Yeah.
didn't have to be disappointed, because his performance in that movie, far exceeded any expectations of seeing his butt. So it was fine.
He did that.
But
He did.
I didn't expect not to see any love scenes in this, because it's a vampire movie.
I
And
came
that's
in.
one of the tropes of a vampire movie. They must have a love scene.
I came in there a blank slate. You hear me? I wasn't expecting anything. I didn't know what to expect. The only thing I expected was for it to be at least decent, because Ryan Coogler did it. So that's all that I had.
I will say, when Mary came back from talking to those three Caucasianites, when she came back and got to Stack, I said, "Ooh, she gonna get him."
Now, with all the vampire stuff that I've ever seen in my life, I think something that might have been added, I don't know if there's some movies that I've never seen that had it, but I've never seen the drool.
Yeah. The first time I've seen the drool of a vampire in a movie. I think on the originals, that Vampire Diaries series adjacent.
And I also noticed two things with the vampires. For some reason, the first time we saw the first vampire go to that woman's house, that woman in that man's house, it seemed like there was some type of burn on his shoulder or on his back or something of that nature. And we also saw that on Mary's back when we saw that she was on top of Stack.
That's when she was big.
She was big. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And also the redness in the eyes. I also noticed that as well. I don't think it was red and Stack.
Is death. That's what that is. Death. Okay. Did he stop for you? Because he stopped for me.
He paused.
Okay. So yeah, it took me a while to realize that the issue, the reason why he was burning up in the beginning of the movie was the fact that he was a vampire. It took me a while to get that. Casey said that Drew was giving Pennywise.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and she can't wait to see that movie again. I've seen people on TikTok that's on their way to see it 4 times. I've actually seen one person go out of state 2 hours to go see it at an IMAX theater. The largest that they could find. Lady Virgo says, Bianca Edwards, is that your natural hair and your ponytail? Your hair looks so beautiful and thick, Bianca. I've only ever saw you with your braids. Such a beauty, Bianca.
Thank you, Lady Virgo. I appreciate you.
That's all her, honey.
So
yes. All that hair.
Okay.
I ain't bald headed, Lady Virgo. I ain't bald headed.
Now,
Okay.
what did y'all think about Annie telling Smoke, if this happens to me, put that steak right here. Don't you let me turn, because I want to go see our baby.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
I love that. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but she was throwing the bones right before she said that.
Yeah. And it's almost as if she was throwing the bones in a separate scene, but she was throwing the bones at the exact same time that she was saying it. Right. Yeah. So because we later saw it in the same room.
Yeah, and she threw the bones. And what I feel in my sound, apparently, for 3 times, she saw that she was about to go to glory. she wasn't
Right.
gonna make it through the rest of the night.
She
And
saw,
she checked it more than once. And that's what I when I saw her, I said, I knew it.
yeah, she saw it for herself. She saw it for everyone else, and then she rechecked for Smoke,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and she knew Smoke will be okay.
Yeah. But of course, that's as long as you have that mojo on your heart,
'Cause
that necklace.
when he did take it off, ooh-wee.
Because he wanted to go be with man. Okay. Is there anything that we need to talk about before we get to the end? I'm trying not to rush to the end because
Were you surprised that Smoke was the twin that made it?
no.
Because
Wow.
because when I
Queen.
if in any of the like advertisement that I saw, I only saw Michael B. Jordan once. So I
Mhm.
knew that one of them was not going to make it. I just did not know which one it was going to be that would make it, but I knew that only one of them was going to make it. So I to be honest, I'm surprised that it was Smoke because it seemed like he was the less responsible than his brother was. However, it seemed like he was a little bit
I
more
mean,
street
Stack.
smart.
Me stat.
Stack, yeah.
He's the one that made it to the other side of the vampire. Stack.
Right, yeah. I just didn't expect for it to be that way.
Yeah,
And we can get to the end.
I was not surprised. Oh, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Also thinking about like the time where, oh gosh, before we get to the end, we have to discuss, hold on, let me get her name. Miss Grace Chow.
Asian representation, yes.
Yes. Okay. So one thing I didn't notice, once again, thank God for TikTok. One thing I didn't notice from the first time I saw the movie was that they had a store on both sides of the street.
Mm-hmm.
One for black, one for white. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I really wasn't aware that there are people from China in America in the 30s. You were?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I learned that with this. Or to be honest, I just never really thought about it. How about that?
Yeah, you don't think about it.
And I
Right.
never really thought
Exactly.
about it. And they've apparently been serving us in stores, for decades. But one thing that somebody pointed out was that you saw how Grace, she dealt with the black people when she had to deal with the black people.
Mhm.
Okay. For that
Mhm.
money. Because we only really saw her smile around Stack. No,
Right.
when they were it was Smoke.
Smoke.
They
It
were
was Smoke, yeah.
they were going back and forth. That's the only time she was cool with it.
Negotiate.
You know what I'm
And she knew
saying?
how to negotiate, honey.
Oh, she did.
Negotiate.
Speaking of negotiation, I think that was a really sweet moment when Smoke taught that young lady how to negotiate. I'm sure she
Future.
took that for the rest of her life. And when I heard
Absolutely.
that horn go off, they stealing. I said, she earning her
He
50 cents.
shoot them. Like he did. I understand his reasoning for saying that he had to, but at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, he had to shoot them people.
Yeah,
Both
yeah,
of them.
he did.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
did.
did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He used to work for Al Capone. Jonathan, that's your name.
Yeah.
They need to know.
You
I
got
didn't
to
hear him.
know
They're
how
your friends.
articulate.
They're supposed to be
Yeah,
your
no,
friends. Well,
because
then they should know better, but
your
hey.
friends should know better. But if they're
Right.
willing to steal from you and you're your friend, oh,
'Cause you remember how
deserve a
everybody was-
bullet in the butt.
You remember how everybody was reacting when it said, "Oh, Smoke is dead." Yeah, I heard of them. Well, I'm Smoke.
And everybody.
Yeah.
Because what Smoke
What a
was
store
about that
they
smoke.
had.
He
Oh,
was
and
definitely
that's
about
so
that smoke.
sad how Smoke, had his daddy up in smoke because putting hands on
He
Stack.
putting his hands on my brother, man. You can't keep putting your hands on us and beating us down. Like, I know discipline is one thing, but you just be putting your hands on because you drunk out here.
Yeah.
Nope.
But he said by the time he woke up, because apparently their mother went to glory, giving birth to Stack,
Mhm.
and some people are believing like maybe that's why Dad was getting drunk because Stack, you're the reason why she went to glory. She was fine after Smoke came out, but when Stack came out, more than likely she bled out,
Mm.
and she lost her life, and he lost his wife.
Yeah.
The
But that's not a reason to
trauma
hate a
in that.
child. Yeah, it's
No.
That's the trauma of the Black community right there. Like, I
whew,
mean, it's little things like that and dialogue that Ryan Coogler was very mindful to put in there to echo the things that we have gone through as a people.
it's sad. But moving on with Grace. A lot of people were pretty much putting a lot of blame on Grace. Grace, the person that played Grace, she did request from Ryan Coogler like, "Hey, can you cut me a little slack?" She requested that he showed, the reasons why she's about to do what she did because she did what she did, and nobody liked that she did it. Okay,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but when she invited the vampires in,
Mhm.
my heart dropped. I was like, "We just trying to figure things out. What?"
Yeah.
But we understand why though, they were threatening baby girl.
Right. They
My
should threaten her
husband's out
family.
there.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. But dag nabbit, you don't have you could have had a conversation about it.
Could have had a conversation about it, and that's one thing that drove me crazy because it was some parts of the movie where I was like, okay, I get it, and some parts of the movie I was just like,
Cause I heard somebody say if you just let one in at a time, death,
yes,
death,
and we could have took
death,
them out.
Yeah.
If you would
Yeah.
death.
have went that route, we could have took them out. But for
Yeah.
you to say, "Oh, y'all are welcome," now they finna kill all y'all, and then not
Purging
only
all y'all.
that, how at the end of the day, all of them still ain't gone. So your daughter still ain't promised, and you not here to protect her either. At least you know how these people operate, and you can teach your daughter not to let them in. You can teach your daughter not to do this because at this moment right now, they're focused on one thing and one thing only: that man with the ukulele.
You mean that
I know I keep saying the ukulele, that bando,
The
the
fiddle,
banjo.
bando.
the bando. Yeah, the bando. You know the thing with the string and the drum on it. Bling, bling, bling.
The bling 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 the bling. You know exactly what you're talking about.
That voice. That's all they
That
want is
voice.
that voice.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when they all came in, I'm like, what we gonna do?
But this follows the vampire lore. If there's a gathering of them, you can't invite just one individually, one by one. You invite one, you invite them all.
Oh well, they all
Unfortunately, that's how
connected.
it is.
Okay.
Because it's connected.
Well, Tyrone's well versed in vampires. He watched Vampire Diaries and all the origins, the
Blade,
originals, and
all
all
that.
that stuff.
Okay.
But
Blade
but yeah,
race.
that was an amazing fight. Y'all see did y'all see their reaction when Smoke went ahead and killed Annie?
I don't know if I remember the reaction when that happened.
So Mary and Stack, they both were like, no, when when he killed Annie. And of course, you would like to have somebody that has knowledge of hoodoo and on your side. That's just going to add to our knowledge. That's going to add to our power. And yeah, they certainly were not happy that he killed her and gave her sweet release.
Mhm.
But I'm happy that he went ahead and did what she asked, did what she requested.
Yeah.
So that was really great. And with the fight that him and his brother had, well, I know that took forever to film.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I
Absolutely.
thought it was great that it was happening at the same time as Sammy and oh boy with the banjo. I was wondering why he kept dipping his head in the water. And I was like, is this like a baptism of some sort? Like, okay, all right. No, all right. So I got that. All right.
Mhm.
But I knew Sammy was gonna be okay though. I knew Sammy was gonna be okay. I knew he would make it out alive.
In essence, I forgot his actual character's name, but he was
Remick?
personified. Yeah, Remick was personifying the devil in this aspect.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand is the devil can come onto holy ground,
Absolutely.
and the devil knows the word of God
Right.
just as much as everybody else out here should.
Yeah.
And this is
Absolutely.
why he was reciting
The Lord's Prayer.
the Lord's Prayer. He's up there
Right.
standing along with them. Like those words don't hurt me, sir.
I
And
know
that's why
those hit you.
when he disintegrated a different way, and he went up like in the air like that. Like I knew that's why I knew he wasn't just a regular everyday,
Oh, nah.
regular degular smegular, vampire. So yeah, I knew that.
Oh gosh. Lady Virgo says, Bianca, you're so welcome, sis. Trust me, Bianca. I never thought you would be bald-headed, sis. I know the braids are much easier for you with such a busy schedule, I hope. And the fact that she know how to child. And Bianca, Lady Virgo says, Bianca, I didn't offend you on in any way, Bianca. I admire how pretty and think your hair looks. Oh no, you didn't take it that way.
Oh no, I wasn't offended. I don't know if you were here when I was telling them about the joke about the girl about me and the braids. So it was a joke. It wasn't offensive. So I apologize if you took it that way, Lady Virgo.
Casey said Grace's mean ass daughter. She looked mean the whole time. She really did. Was not letting strangers in. I agree.
That's true. She wasn't.
She would have been safe.
She had a suspicious eye.
Okay, she
from the get-go.
She was looking. Did she say a word in the whole movie?
She did.
Oh, okay. Because all I remember was that face like this in the window. Her vampire father, maybe, probably, but not the rest of them.
Yeah,
that makes sense, Casey.
If her vampire mother and father came, say things didn't go the way they would, everybody turned and everybody go back to their community, she would have let them in.
Oh yeah, for sure. She wouldn't automatically question that.
Nah, she went in.
Possibly. But Mary went to go see the puppy, had to go potty. Casey said Smoke hit this out of Sammy.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
He should have had that same energy for Grace, at least Gaga. They didn't know she was gonna do that though.
No, they didn't.
They didn't know.
And she wouldn't want them to know that she was going to do that either. So,
And honestly, they didn't know that Mary was going to go the way that went either. Because, when she first turned and came back in there and they're looking at Stack and he's all over the floor and everything, they tried their best to do something with that. But not knowing what you're dealing with out here in these streets, man, this was definitely an eye opener for me.
Right.
Be aware.
And it's funny how
from that.
It's funny how Smoke automatically looked to Annie as his brother was dying. You say you don't believe what's going on.
Can you bring him back?
Yeah. Because that's what he would expect her to be able to do. That did not surprise me whatsoever. I will say really quickly, in the after credit scene, the first after credit scene, when Stack and Mary came into the bar to talk to Sammy, I love their 80s looks. Like that shirt that Stack was wearing was fire. Them hoop earrings that Mary was wearing, she looked real bangy, real. I
know what you're gonna say, but I ain't gonna don't say it. But I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. She was serving.
Yeah.
I loved that. I love that they at least ended up together. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was beautiful.
At the very least. But it really kind of brought to surface the realness of the moment when he said, yeah, that day was the best day of my life. It was the last day I saw the sun.
Right.
The last day I saw my brother. And think about it. He would have had to see his brother laid out, gone to glory.
Yeah.
On his way out. I'm sure, I'm pretty sure they just hung around in the barn, or excuse me, at the juke joint before they left. in the night.
They had escaped through the woods. I saw where they ran away.
Oh, into the woods.
After what's the child name? Annie got stabbed. That's when they left.
Oh, they saw what was going on. Like,
Yeah.
well, shoot.
I it's time to go. I gotta go.
Well, no, it would have to be after he fought. After he fought his brother.
Yeah.
After he fought his brother.
Annie.
Right.
Because he killed Annie first, and then him and the brother fought.
Because they did do a flashback of them talking.
Yes.
Him and his brother talking, and he was trying to bite him.
Yeah, he couldn't bite him.
And he couldn't bite him because he had that sack
No,
on him.
that was during the fight. Yeah.
And then probably when he went to go save Sammy.
Yeah, when he went to go save Sammy, he was
probably
still
when
in
the brother
there.
escaped.
Yeah.
That's when it escaped. Yeah.
And I don't know. There had to be some real tree cover because the sun was coming out at that time.
Right. And I have to say really quickly, my favorite scene was after Cornbread had gotten, bitten and he came back to the door.
Yo.
That was my favorite scene of the entire movie. You've
been in and out of here all day.
All day.
Okay. Right. I love that scene. That scene was excellent. Like Cornbread was probably one of my favorite characters in the entire movie just for that scene alone. I thought that was great. That dialogue was excellent.
I love the speech that Slim gave before he allowed people to try and escape, before he got overtaken by the vampires himself.
Yeah. And to be honest, I kind of reckon that was somewhat of a sweet release for him as well.
Right.
Been living under a lot of pain.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah. I think the ending for everybody was really beautiful. I'm a person, I love a movie where everything ties up into a beautiful bow. To be honest, I don't need to see no more of the story. The only thing that I would actually want is a Choctaw Indian vampire hunter movie. I would love that because in the beginning of the movie, they knew what he was.
I forgot about that.
And they were trying to help him out. Being that they are very present to what they had in front of them, apparently is not the first time they've dealt with them. I need to see the Choctaw Vampire Hunter movie.
But what really stood out to me about that was, and this is a testament to the Native Americans' skill set, for them to track him all the way there after he had escaped, and them using
smoking
just regular smuggler tactics to do it.
I need a whole movie of that.
I need to see that story too.
But I thought it was just the most beautiful thing to see Annie in her white feeding their baby.
So powerful.
And to see that boy was acting. You hear me?
He was.
That boy was acting. She said, "Go on, put that cigarette out so you can hold your baby."
Down.
Okay, I don't need no smoke inhalation for this child.
You can
no
hold
second hand.
That cig down.
Like, oh gosh,
what?
That was that.
Boy, the tear.
That's all I needed. I didn't need nothing else we knew she was gonna be with their son or daughter, their baby. We knew she was gonna go to their daughter, but to have the blessing of being able to see that, that just wrapped up everything for me. And then he made his last kill after
asking the man for a cigarette, and the man actually gave him said cigarette.
Right.
I'm over here trying to get my baby in glory, and you gonna bother this whole moment for me. But okay, let me tell you something. Violence. I really enjoyed that part. That was very nice.
But
and another. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's a testament to Smoke that he by his word too.
Absolutely. And also,
Better than people come around.
Y'all came back on this
I'm
land.
laying them out.
I'm laying you out. And they
Right.
thought he
And he
was
did
He
what
playing.
he
laid
said
them
he was going to do.
all out. Okay.
every single one of them.
By
And
himself.
I love the choice that the only time we saw an actual Klan uniform
Hmm.
was just one time, and it wasn't even on nobody.
On
Right.
that little bench.
Mm-hmm. In the house.
To be
And
honest, we didn't even have to see it. To be
You
honest,
didn't
no,
like
have to
we
see
knew
it.
what
All
it
they
we
just
did
was.
did
not
was
even have
stop.
to see it.
It was absolutely
They
him.
And
showed her.
and also, for when the Klan came to get at them, they just showed them as what they are,
Hmm.
flawed human beings
Mhm.
Hmm.
coming out to enact rage
Flawed and scared
and scared. Yeah.
human beings and thought that they had power and control over
Hmm.
the land and dominion to do whatever they wanted to.
Yeah.
And then they make their match.
I think it was
Mhm.
wonderful that not only did he wipe them out, but he went to glory too. So hopefully, if anybody is coming for some kind of retribution, he wouldn't have to be ducking and dodging. He went on to glory to his forever,
Right.
which was just once again so beautiful to me. Though the boys were separate in lives, um, they still got a happy moment. Stacker is finally able to be with his woman.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right.
I think that's beautiful as well. Some people were trying to say that Sammy was a vampire as well. It's like, hold on, how? They were like, well, his reflection wasn't in the mirror behind the bars. Like, hold on, we're shooting a movie. If we could see his reflection, you'd be able to see the camera too.
The camera too. Exactly.
Duh,
Child.
people.
And
Anyway.
then how's he a vampire? And he aged, baby. He
Right.
aged. He
Vampires
old
don't
now.
age, baby.
Vampires
Do
don't
you
do
not
that.
see the difference between Stack and Mary and
I was just
Sammy? You know, they were both around, he was a little bit
So,
younger when they were a little bit older back in the day, and now they're still young and he's kind of old. So yeah, people.
I think it's beautiful that he held onto his word. He
Mhm.
said, look, go ahead and live. I can't kill you. Just leave Sammy alone. I just think all of that was just very wonderful. I loved how it ended. And also I for some reason I thought that Sammy would let go of that piece of guitar at the end.
Why?
I
Oh,
don't know. For
okay.
me,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
what I was
like,
thinking, but
just do it so he can stop saying it. I think that's where I was. I was
yeah,
over it.
you
Like,
were over it.
yeah.
shut
Daddy.
his
your
passion.
daddy up and just
Convey his
drop it,
Hush,
passion
okay?
daddy.
song.
But I understand why he held on to it. It's very symbolic. Because to be honest, I would have just let it go just to let him feel like, okay, you did something.
Mhm.
But
But if he let it go, then that would mean that it would be a sign to his father that he's letting go of that music.
which is a
Mhm.
lie.
You
And
know he ain't gonna let go of
him.
that music. And he
He's
really
not.
couldn't. I don't think he wanted to lie to his father in that way
Again,
and get his hopes up for something that he's obviously never going to do. So yeah,
yeah.
I support that decision.
And in that song where he talked about how he lied, I was like, golly, that song is fire. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, that whole experience, I can't even call it a roller coaster. I just think of it as like a day of emotions and
Mhm.
being exposed to things that I don't get to see too often. Another bit of discourse from the movie, there was a Mexican man that
Oh
felt like
yeah.
there should be some Latino representation in the movie, and and
Well,
We can't never have nothing.
unfortunately,
mm,
he didn't do his homework, but there were
mm,
some other Latino people that did.
mhm.
Come to find out, in 1930, all the Mexican immigrants were shipped back to Mexico. So by 1932, there were no Mexicans in the Delta. So it wouldn't be historically accurate for that to be the case. But he was saying, well, you did it in Wakanda forever. It's like, come on now. Like,
That's
but that's a whole nother long diatribe to go on. But congratulations to Sinners. Um, they only had a 6% drop in viewage going into the second week of the movie. The projection was 10 to 20% drop, but it was only 6.
Mhm.
So that's wonderful. Some movies have up to 50% drop, but
Mhm.
it is just a testament to how great the movie was. And like I said, people watching the movie over and over
And,
again.
right.
Amazing.
And to be up against a new release in The Accountant Part 2.
Oh, and I'm still gonna watch The Accountant though. I won't see that.
The Accountant Part 2 was expecting to supersede those numbers from The Sinner's first week.
Mm.
And I don't think it met that because The Sinner's word of mouth spread
Like wildfire.
like wildfire. Everybody was like, "Oh, I got to go see this. I still want to see that, but I got to go see this before I see that."
Because too many people are talking about it. You want to know what people talking about.
Right. And before we go, I just have to say, I loved going into the theater, even though the theater that I went to today wasn't packed, to see all the black faces in there. There was a woman who was to my right. She had a whole blanket
She
with
came ready,
her.
honey.
She was ready. And it felt like a family affair. And it just felt so beautiful that I was amongst my people and we were enjoying our fellow
Celebrating our
Black
people.
brothers' greatness. I thought it's an amazing feeling. I got the same feeling when I went to see Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Like it's always amazing to have that experience with your people.
With our experience.
With our people.
Told by our people. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Seeing the videos of Ryan talk about the filming process and how
He a film nerd for real.
He's a real film nerd, and honestly, it felt like he was downplaying the creation of this film
a little bit. He said it took 10 years for it to totally come into fruition, but he did an amazing job. The homework that was done was great. The music was phenomenal, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free,
Yes.
African American at that. So
absolutely.
Such great representation. It was lovely, full figured representation as well. Though people really, I saw a lot of videos talking about how they didn't realize how programmed we are to what love interests are supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's so many levels of program. We got the colorism, we got the whole size thing, the whole
ageism,
we got the whole financial demographics of things too.
Because I really thought she was just a homegirl that know hoodoo that that's her shop and she help out the people.
Right.
And to be honest, even the flirting in the beginning, I didn't catch until she was like, "Your body didn't miss me." I was like,
Girl, and then she reached for it, honey. Yeah. No, I saw it from the beginning of that scene. I saw it from the beginning
I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to the hoodoo of it all. That's what
I knew he wasn't going to this woman's house just for a quick talk, a quick chit chat. No, no.
And then when he stopped at the baby's thing, I was like, why would it be in her yard? And he's talking about he's feeling like it's his child because it's there.
Yeah.
I didn't put 2 to 10 together.
Child. I was eating popcorn.
Yeah, we was enjoying the popcorn.
That's right. Them things were good. But
okay, extra butter for me at least.
Oh no, we don't need extra butter because I ain't walking out there with gas too.
Greasy fingers.
Okay. But yes, I really do appreciate them putting Annie in there. Somebody that has an ample bosom and thickness about her.
Mm-hmm.
And you loved every minute of her.
Child, yes.
Absolutely.
Every minute.
Because she was about her shit.
She was my favorite.
On screen, you would expect Michael B. Jordan to overshadow her.
Oh no.
So much.
She held her own.
But her presence in the space and throughout the dialogue commanded attention.
Mm-hmm.
and
he
your eyes followed wherever she went.
come
And
on,
Yep.
it was just so beautiful to see that out of a full figured, dark skinned woman.
4C
Dark
Come on.
hair.
skinned.
Because
Yes.
a lot of times in these type of films from Hollywood, they wanted to put, if there is a full figure, she has to be a lighter hue.
Yes.
Come on.
But she looked like the Delta. She looked like Mississippi. She,
Mhm.
Mhm.
now in real life, she don't talk like it though.
No, you
It
don't.
it do it
She's
do kind of make me a little sad, like, come
she's
on now.
Af-
Can you find an
she's from
American to do
Africa.
it? But
She's African
but
though,
hey, you know what I'm
man.
saying?
Come on, man.
Small steps, okay?
You know,
As we start to break through, you know what I'm saying? More and more women
At
here in
least she looked
America
the part.
can start to
and
see
see,
themselves. You know what I'm saying?
that's another thing that has been there
I need
in
to see more of it so
it,
I can be like,
the division between motherland African and African Americans, ADOS, as they like to call us. It's too much for me.
yeah, but they act well. But I do hope to see more of us from America to be able to be a part of something like that. It,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see more of that. And she has not, thank God, she has handled it better than Cynthia Erivo has.
Ooh, yes.
When
Way
you
better.
play Harriet Tubman in America, maybe you shouldn't talk about things that to push the buttons of the American African people.
The difference between them is I can't pronounce her name. Uh,
Annie.
Annie's character, the actress that played Annie. She actually invests herself in the culture of America,
And it is apparent.
and you can tell.
That's why I can't be too mad. I'm not mad.
You can
Not mad
tell
about it.
because she has a respect for
It's who she is.
where she is.
Mm-hmm. But y'all, it's been wonderful. I'ma go. Okay. Thank you for decompressing with me. I held on to that movie for a week. And I thank everybody on here for seeing the movie so we can have this conversation. And next week we're gonna be decompressing again. I mean, I'll see y'all next Monday. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a lovely evening and have a good Tuesday. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
You gonna take it? Oh, you ain't gonna take us out, I guess. Bye.